too similar to the instance, and so he, that for him was set. For him, he really believed that that's where the mom came from, because that's where all the stories came from. And so, I guess I'm wondering, like, how does that sound? Are you all pretty convinced that you guys come from European Asian background? How do you feel about that? Yeah?
I mean, then my question is, how did Father Sabina communicate with people, Because none of them speak English, right? Or probably Father Sabina spoke French.
Yeah, there's not too much information about him because whatever information that we have on him is pretty much written in advance and in French. And so this book actually says that Father Sabina spent probably decades just living with him home and studying him. And so I'm pretty sure that throughout that time he may have learned the language because the language isn't all English isn't too complicated. So it's not necessarily some using only 6 tones. And so, I can imagine how easy probably pick it up.
So was it Father Sabina that gave him our written language?
I think he was one of the first to attempt to, but then
What if someone else after?
I think it was Father Beatrix. Or I forgot, I'm not sure if that was exact.
Father Beatrix.
Yeah. I think Father Sabina was one of the first to attempt it to, but for some reason it didn't really stick around. And it might have been something that was related to the French occupation and all the war going on. And so that might have made it complicated for the mom to actually have.
The current and more common writing system that we use right now, which utilizes the Roman alphabet, was actually developed by Father Beatrix during the 1950s to 1960s. And so it's a relatively new system. And if you look at the history of the Hmong writing systems too, there's a long history of that too. For example, our Bungo and also the Paho writing system too. So it's a relatively new system. I kind of want to talk about kind of go back to the blonde hair blue eyes story about traits that someone possessed too. Was that it's kind of more so these oral stories, but because there's not really much hard facts or written documentations about these events happening, but then there's oral stories about the persecution of picking out, hand selecting one person from a Chinese person back in the day too, which somebody will cover the Chinese history a little bit, but kind of what was described in the movie was that the blonde hair, blue eyes, that kind of made them stick out. So those kind of first to go, and obviously for many of us today, it's more common to have black hair and brown eyes. So that's kind of one of the reasons why it's so rare these days, where it's kind of a recessive trait that kind of skips generations, where you see more common in one family versus another. And there's a question right there.
I'm just curious, in regards to the blonde hair, blue eyes thing, did you guys find any research on where some originated from there?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part of that question.
Well, I'm just wondering, in regards to the blonde hair, blue eyes, did you find from your research, did you find the place of the mother originally from, or exactly you found it?
No, that was really, really hard to do. I mean, there were a number of different theories out there that we're actually trying to look at, and some of them are more critical than others. And so right now we don't really know exactly where the mom came from, and it's really hard to say.
As far as history goes, like what's been said was that there's no hard evidence or credible books written about the history of the Hmong people. So if we can trace back and kind of just base the idea off old stories, then there's stories about the origination of kind of the folk tales kind of related to Adam and Eve, and then other stories about the origination of the Hmong people. And there's stories that says that the Hmong people originally came from a cold place, which could either be Mongolia or Russia. And then there's also other stories that says that people might have an origination from the Middle East. And so it's kind of hard to say. And obviously, based on the pictures that were shown in the video, is that they do have blonde hair and blue eyes, but their facial features are kind of have that Asian look, I want to say, versus the Caucasian facial structure too. So that's kind of where it gets a little different, a little cloudy.
And I guess in addition to what have already been said about the blonde eye and blue hair, traits of the mom, or blonde hair, blue eyes, traits of the mom, you know, it could be that, you know, along the way, European travelers, you know, just people who randomly make on this population, they, you know, might have had some sort of relationship and, you know, left these genes with the mom population. Especially, for example, during the 18th or late 1900s and early 20th century, the French was occupying Indochina, and I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, the mom would have had, you know, mom would actually, you know, having these relationships with them. So there's also some possibilities out there. So, you know, when interpretation is, you know, it can be anyone's guess, basically.
I guess I can kind of add to that too. Like if you look at like Chinese legends, they have history of like barbarians or like people attacking China with blonde hair, blue eyes, Asian features too. So it dates back really far. It's just that our people have migrated. Like we've never really stayed in one place for very long to where we built a stable history. We've always moved. We've always been on the move. And so that's like as I said when I was opening, it's very hard for us to find information on where we really originate from because a lot of it's lost and a lot of it wasn't documented until we finally came to us and the Vietnam War happened. And then there was people who actually took documentation. Prior to that, it's very, very scarce.
Yeah, and I think the closest thing that we can probably get to actual history is probably what's written in the Chinese archives. And so probably going back as far as maybe 2000 BC. During the Ming Shao period, and so that's as close as we can get. So beyond that, we just don't know. Did anyone have any questions that you want to ask about before?
Is there anywhere right now currently where there's a large or significant population of the blonde hair, blue eye? And if so, where is that at? And is that blonde hair, blue eye, is that a sort, I don't want to say pure, but is that sort the definitive Hmong definition when we look at physical features?
I kind of want to say no, but I kind of want to say yes too, because again, there's stories that kind of like traditional stories that are passed down that kind of relates back to that identity of being blonde hair, blue eyes. So again, like I said, there's been a lot of lost history about what happened to the blonde hair, blue eye moment look, and so right now it seems more like a recessive trait versus a dominant trait that is commonly identifiable in the Hmong community. For example, we have scattered families who have one or two people in their family who have blonde hair, blue eyes, and the thing about that too is that they're not albino either. So,
so is there a significant population though, and globally, where we can say, yeah, there's a lot with these traits like currently living?
I would say no, because
it's really that, just like scattered.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no like colony or like a village or anything with just blonde hair, blue eyes, but there are certain families that the trait is more dominant than others. Like, for example, I have relatives who have blonde hair, blue eyes, and their kids have blonde hair, blue eyes, and maybe out of like their 5 kids, there's 2 of them with dark hair. The rest of them have very light colored hair, and some of them are like even beach blonde with blue eyes. So I think it's not common, but you do see it, and it's more so just family. I think lineage, how strong the gene is in certain families, it's more apparent, but it is everywhere. If you go to like the New Year's, you'll probably see one. But I mean, it's just people don't go to the New Year's as often as they used for example, when I went to Fresno New Year, you see them around. You would see maybe like 10, 15 out of the big crowd your whole day. That's actually quite a lot in comparison to like now when you go, not a lot of people go to the New Year's anymore. So you, like I said, you probably see like one. The token one everywhere.
Another thing too is that with globalization and modernization of just how we interact with each other, you know, cosmetology purposes, people are dyeing their hair too, so it's really hard to tell too, because for all my personal story was that my brother used to talk to this girl, and she had, it wasn't blonde, but then it was a lighter brown hair, and it looked like she dyed it, but what she says is that she was born that way. It was kind of reddish and orange, kind of brownish, and so it's really hard to tell too.
Yeah, I mean, like if you just take like a Sylvia's hair, you can kind of see it being, you know, having some brown streaks. See that because you know those could be some features of yeah, traits like that. So, I mean, when I remember when my grandma was alive, she would always tell me stories about her dad and some of my great uncles, and she would say that yeah, you know, half of them would have like reddish yellow hair, and you know, it gets me curious about where the trait has gone to, because it never came to like down to our family. So I'm not sure how down it is or like long it is. So are there any more questions? Now we're gonna move on to 2700 BC and onwards, and this is gonna be actually half based on